Darlings, clutch your pearls and pass the pratties, because the Irish potato famine wasn't just starvation, it was 7 years of desperation so raw that even the bedroom turned into a battlefield of survival. Think Titanic, but everyone's in steerage, the band is playing keening, and the only lifeboat is a landlord's whim. Smash subscribe like a starving cottier smashing the workhouse gate and whisper below. Are you watching this over Irish breakfast in Dublin at noon or 4 a.m. tears in Toronto? Picture 1845. The blight hits and the humble spud turns black overnight. A nation that lived on 20 pounds of potato per man per day suddenly has nothing but air and Anglican charity. 1 million die, another million flee, and the ones left behind discover that hunger makes people terrifyingly creative about payment plans for staying alive. First horror, the famine marriages. Girls who hadn't eaten in a week were dressed in borrowed rags, marched to the chapel, and swapped for a sack of Indian meal or passage on a coffin ship. Priests looked the other way because a wedding was still cheaper than a funeral. One Mayo curate recorded 42 such unions in a single month. Average age of the brides, 16. Average dowry, 1 stone of maize. Romance measured in calories, darling. Then came the soup kitchen brides. Protestant missions offered a bowl of stirabout in exchange for conversion, and for the prettier girls, private scripture lessons in the back room. One missionary in Skibbereen wrote home glowing about saving souls wholesale. The girls called it saving something else entirely. Many left the kitchen with a full belly and an empty faith, plus a baby that would arrive before the next harvest nobody lived to see. Landlords discovered a new eviction perk. Instead of paying the constabulary to drag families out, they offered the prettiest daughter a position in the big house. Refuse, and the tumbling gang arrived at dawn. Accept, and the rest of the family got an extra month before starvation or the immigrant ship. Mothers wept, fathers looked away, and 16-year-old girls learned that modesty is a luxury food costs. The workhouses were places of punishment disguised as charity. Girls deemed fit for labor were separated from their families and confined to women's wards where the overseer and his associates conducted nightly reviews. An inspector in Ennistimon even noted, with disturbing casualness, that staff expected customary gratuities. Everyone knew what that meant. The Board of Guardians discussed the issue briefly, then chose to cut food rations instead of confronting the abuse. That was their notion of priorities. Conditions on the coffin ships were no better. Steerage passengers were packed so tightly that strangers shared bunks barely large enough for animals. Illness, grief, and desperate attempts at comfort all unfolded within the same cramped space. One survivor of the Hannah later wrote, "You sought warmth however you could, or you gave up hope." Months after arrival, Quebec reported an influx of famine orphans with no names and no families willing to claim them. Even death offered no dignity. Bodies abandoned along rural roads were sometimes found disturbed by people driven beyond morality by starvation. A doctor in Clare recorded in his diary that he discovered a corpse mishandled in a manner I cannot describe. The individuals responsible appeared so gaunt and broken he could hardly distinguish them from the dead. He buried every one of them together and never wrote of it again. And this was only the beginning. Next, we will walk the soup kitchen lines and the banquet halls of absentee landlords. For while one half of Ireland wasted away, the other half discovered that hunger sharpens more than appetites. Keep your prayers close and your resolve closer, dear listeners.